Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about another seasonal anime, this one called Mayonaka Punch. Mayonaka Punch is an anime original being done by PA Works, which I think is very notable. They're one of my favorite studios and something I always keep a eye out record for because they definitely have some unique projects when they end up doing originals. As of last year, they had Buddy Dies, which was an absolutely huge one. Just one of my favorite anime that has come out in a long time. They also had Akaba Maid War. They have quite a portfolio of interesting originals that come out, so they're usually something to keep on the radar. And I think this is one of those shows that is another interesting thing that they're adding to their portfolio. Now, a synopsis for this show is that it's a bunch of vampires doing YouTube content. We have a main character who is a prior pretty popular YouTube personality. She ends up getting canceled because she punched one of her friends on video and it went up, and yeah, people don't like her for that. Got canceled, which makes sense. I don't think you guys would be happy if I went punching people all around the place. I get it, I understand. So she's canceled and she's looking to start and make some content on her own, and while she's doing that, she goes into this abandoned hospital where she meets this vampire named Liv, and she's like, "Oh, you're the person of my dreams. I know your blood is tasty as hell. Let me get a suck of that." Kind of down bad if you ask me, but you know, vampires gotta do what they gotta do. So pretty much it ends up at the end of their interaction, they hit an ultimatum. If Liv is able to help her make some content and they get 1 million subscribers, she can get sucked dry. She doesn't care. All right, if you can get me 1 million subs, you can suck my blood, and that's a-okay. Which, hey, vampires? I'm willing to make an offer. Anyways, after this interaction, it's like, all right, make some vampire stuff. They use their powers for a bit, but then the head person, the head like vampire person, just like, no, don't do that. You can't expose that we're a vampire to the real world doing this, so delete all that content. But hey, Liv still wants that blood. Liv still wants that shit. So she's like, all right, if we don't use our powers, we're still good to make the content. So we go do it the old basic old-fashioned way of being entertaining and not having some crazy advantage over the competition through superhuman powers. And that is the premise of the show. Some vampires try and make some YouTube content. Hell yeah. Now, for a show like this, of course, they're doing stuff on YouTube, and honestly, some of these kind of like things that are trying to tackle modern concepts, they can fumble pretty bad. Things that have tried to make storylines around YouTube and platforms similar, for some reason, lack a gauge or understanding for the platform. And it's like, all right, let's do the most generic thing, and you know, we'll magically get millions of views because we tried, I guess. When, you know, there's a lot more harsh realities to all of it. Sometimes our expectations too crazy, right? You can't expect them to go into the very depth of analytics, right? You have to make it still presentable to a viewer, while, you know, making it satisfying enough for someone who knows a little bit about it. As a YouTuber and someone who knows a lot about video creation, it gets a thumbs up for me for its effort in looking like it at least gave a shit. But then we get into what makes this show stand out. We have so many weird and wacky concepts, so even though this is a pretty wacky one, what makes it actually stand out? What is it particularly doing that makes it more interesting? I think for one thing, this kind of falls into a cute girls doing cute things genre, which isn't new, but I think some of the character dynamics and some of the characters themselves are a little bit different from what you'd see in a lot of these cute girls doing cute things anime. Especially our main character, the main YouTube creator, Masaki. She isn't that great of a person. And I think a lot of times with these cute girls doing cute things, on the moral side, usually it's at the very least neutral, where you don't really poke into these sort of things, or generally morally good standing people. This is a weird case where the main character, they do some things to kind of have you be sympathetic, so you might want to follow them, but also they're not shown to be this perfectly moral character. Again, they punch someone on video. You know, it's not a good start. There isn't really a good explanation on why someone would go to violence, and I don't think they're trying to make that an acceptable thing. I think this character is actually morally dubious. They do have their passions, they do have things they enjoy, they're very much human, but they are definitely a flawed one at that. I think that actually makes for a more interesting and compelling watch, to not have this perfectly moral YouTubers like, I was wrong, I was wrongfully canceled. You know, I was framed for the punch. It was edited. It was faked, all right? It was deep fake. No, you don't get that bullshit. She fucking punched someone. She got canceled. Nobody wants to watch her ass. So now she has to hide in the background and have these idiotic vampires who don't know what YouTube is and try to make them make some fucking content. I think that is one of the interesting, compelling elements of the show. And while it does lean on some of these serious moments, it does have some elements of drama to make you sympathetic for the characters at points, and it makes you think a little bit. It's leaning a lot more towards comedy at the end of the day. It is a mixed bag of what you're getting, which honestly I can often prefer. It's mixing both its drama and its comedy. I think it's landing pretty well on its comedic elements of just going crazy with the vampire concept and what vampires would have to do to make content. I think it's amusing. That's what I can say. It's quite the amusing show that I've been enjoying watching. Now, is this show the best? Perfect? No. It's a solid show. From what I've watched, I think it's solid. It has more room to grow, more room to develop as they get closer to their goal of making 1 million subscribers. And I think that is generally nice. Now, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Once again, any vampires, please hit me up. The DMs are open. We can talk. I'm saying I need to lead the silver play. I need that at least. All right, maybe 500k. All right, thank you, Dracula. I'll hit you up later. Anyways, for all the rest of you, I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.